So perhaps you've noticed lately that you're feeling as if your fuse is a little bit short. You're losing your temper with people around you. You feel irritated constantly, but you don't think anything's changed really. But perhaps it's a sign of burnout. Perhaps, well, heading towards burnout, heading towards a stage where possibly you should have pulled back a bit earlier and done something about it. So have you noticed, like, the tiniest things might set you off? It might be somebody, when you're out in your car, somebody pulls in front of you a bit too close and you find yourself saying some choice words. Then you remember the kids are in the back seat and you think, whoops, not much of a role model. Just tiny things, maybe a text message that doesn't quite fit well with you, and that sort of, you can just feel your stomach gripping and your shoulders tightening, and your head might feel like it's in a bit of a vice and it starts to squeeze. And maybe somebody asks you a question and you're on the run and you constantly feel like you're being pushed to your limit, and then somebody asks you a question, you think, well, how the hell would I know? I'm in the middle of running here, running there, and you ask me this question. Can't you think this out for yourself? It's possibly a really, really simple question that normally you would be quite happy to answer, but you're just finding lately that it's just getting a little bit too much when somebody asks you a question on top of everything else. Or somebody asks you to do something quickly. What is quickly, on top of everything else I do? Sure, why not? And suddenly it just all feels too much. So the funny thing is that it's not that dramatic what's been happening. It's just on top of, on top of, on top of. And you find that, just ordinary things are starting to really make you feel like you're tipping over and you're snapping quicker. You might be responding to your kids when they're just asking a simple question, just being kids. You snap at them and then you think afterwards, oh, I really didn't want to say that to them. I feel really awful now. Or perhaps it's a member of your family or a friend, or perhaps you're even doing it to yourself. Perhaps you're just being really horrible to yourself. And it's just all getting a little bit too much, and you find that your tolerance is low. It feels like it's gone overnight, but when you think back, no, this has been happening for a while. You think you feel like you haven't got any patience anymore. You might even be withdrawing. And it's nothing big, but it's lots of little things building up, and it's just making you feel like you want to explode, basically. So when your mental load becomes so full that you're just not coping, one little thing, it's a bit like that, the analogy of the cup being full to overflowing. You can be full to overflowing with joy and happiness and good things, or you can be filled to overflowing with your energy and your anxiety, and everything is getting on top of you, so that perhaps you leave home with the cup just on the, just brimming at the top. And then somebody says something to you and then everything just overflows. So there's two ways of looking at that. You could be feeling, what's happening is that your system is just so tired, you're so overwhelmed, everything is just too much for you at work, possibly because you've just not given yourself the time to sit back and review. Possibly you're one of those people that says, well, I can't. Nobody else is going to do what I'm doing. Nobody else can do this. I need to do it all for myself, or it won't get done in the right way. Perhaps there's a bit of perfectionism sneaking in, where the only way is your way, and that makes it really tough for anybody to help you. So the only person that can help you is yourself. So if you're telling yourself that you just haven't got any more room to move, start listening, start reviewing, start reflecting, and start thinking, okay, it's time to do something about this. I need more room. I need to feel like I can expand rather than I keep contracting all the time. So how are you going to achieve this? What are you going to do? When does it become the right time? How much longer can you keep pushing those buttons? Keep pushing yourself. Keep insisting that you're the only person that can do this, that you're the only person that can take on the extra shits, that you're the only person that can do this for other people, because if you asked another colleague, they wouldn't do it as well as you would. How much longer do you think you can keep pushing your buttons like that? When do you stop? When do you give yourself the chance to recover? And the question needs to be asked, what happens if you don't give yourself the time to just get out and go for a walk, or to give yourself some space where you can just be on your own and read a book, or go and sit out in the sun, or take the dog for a walk. Because the thing is that if you don't start doing it for yourself, your body will do it for you. And then it could be quite some time before you get back onto your feet again. So once you give yourself some space, some time to breathe, perhaps clarity will return. Perhaps your reactions will soften. Perhaps your body will loosen its grip. It's a choice. And often we get to that stage, we just feel we have no choice. And when we feel like we're in a corner, what happens to the dog that's in the corner and somebody comes at them? They come out barking, they come out biting, they attack. Sound familiar? So when are you going to give your time, when you're going to give yourself the time to investigate this, to start looking at it, to start thinking, okay, I want to know how I can create some choice in my life. When you feel that you haven't got any choice, when you feel like you're in the corner, you're like that dog, you know, that somebody comes at them, they come charging out at you from the corner. When you're feeling like that, often you just get too overwhelmed that you can't see the wood for the trees, so to speak. So it's not your fault. It's just a sign that you've been carrying so much more than one person should be carrying. And your mind is begging you to just take some time, to make some time for yourself, and to find some way that you can come back to yourself again.